look at the nutritional breakdown of the foods in your journal, you'll see that the nutrient percentages indicated by Nourish Lab's progress bars are based upon some preset target values. Specifically, the calories, macronutrient, and fiber values are based upon the percent daily values for food labeling in the US. The values for individual amino acids, vitamins, and minerals are based upon the adult recommended dietary allowance set by the Food and Nutrition Board of the Institute of Medicine of the National Academies. While these values are designed to fit most people quite well, you may want to set your own target values, especially for overall calories and macronutrients. Nourish Lab lets you do exactly that. First, click on the Targets tab of your journal. Then you'll see a form which will help you calculate your caloric and nutrient requirements using your age, gender, and activity level. Let's plug some information in. Nourish Lab gives you a few options of which mathematical formula to use to calculate your caloric requirements. You can mouse over the info buttons to learn a little more about each formula, but the default selection will be fine for most people. It's also important to note that none of these formulas can be expected to offer exact calculations for any given individual. They'll simply offer a ballpark value, which you can use as a frame of reference. When you click the Calculate button, you'll see that Nourish Lab instantly calculates your basal metabolic rate, which is an estimate of the amount of calories you'd burn each day if you were completely sedentary, as well as your total daily energy expenditure, which is an estimate of the total number of calories you burn each day when accounting for your physical activity. Nourish Lab also calculates both a 15% and 20% reduction in your total daily energy expenditure. For those seeking to lose weight, a 15 to 20% caloric reduction per day is generally a reasonable target to shoot for. You'll also notice that Nourish Lab has used the information you entered to populate the target form with some values. Note that the calorie value is the same as your total daily energy expenditure listed above. If you change this value, notice that the values for protein, fat, carbohydrate, saturated fat, cholesterol, and fiber automatically adjust, as the recommended daily value for these nutrients is calculated relative to caloric intake. And if you'd like to set different targets for these nutrients, you can always edit them directly. Similarly, if you edit the protein, fat, or carbohydrate targets directly, the caloric target automatically adjusts to represent your changes. When your targets are set to your liking, you simply click Save Targets to save them. Then, when you navigate back to your food journal, you'll see that the newly entered targets are now used to generate the percentages and progress bars accordingly. Editing your targets is easy as well. When you navigate back to the Targets tab, you'll see the nutrient section of the form is now populated with your current target values. To update them, you can change one or several targets and click Save Targets. Or you can even delete all of your targets entirely by clicking Delete Targets. Nourish Lab will then revert back to its default target values. That's really all there is to creating and editing your nutrient targets with Nourish Lab. Be sure to view our other videos for more tutorials.